Since 1970, Jonathan Schochor has served as a leading authority in the legal field with particular expertise in class act, litigation, negligence, and medical malpractice cases. For more than 4 decades, Mr. Schochor's experience and dedication to his clients has yielded a restoration to their quality of life and significant changes for the betterment of society. A native of New York, Mr. Schochor earned a Bachelor of Arts from Pennsylvania State University in 1968 and a Juris Doctor from the American University School of Law in 1971. While at the American University School of Law, he served as the Associate Editor-in-Chief of the Law Review. Soon after receiving the latter degree, Mr. Schochor was admitted to practice before the United States District Court in Washington, D.C., as well as the U.S. Court of Appeals, Washington, D.C. Circuit. He was later admitted to practice in the state of Maryland, the U.S. District Court for the District of Maryland, and the Supreme Court of the United States. His prolific law career began in 1970 as an associate at McKenna, Wilkinson, and Kittner in Washington, D.C., where he worked for 4 years. And then, from 1974 to 1984, he was an associate at Allen & Baker in Baltimore, Maryland. It was in 1984 when Mr. Schochor, along with colleagues Philip Federico and Carrie Staten, founded the law firm Schochor, Federico & Staten, P.A., which for more than 30 years now has been devoted to representing medical malpractice and negligence victims. Practice areas include, but are not limited to, birth injuries, wrongful death, hospital errors, and brain injury. Since it was formed, Schochor, Federico & Staten, which has offices in Baltimore and Washington, D.C., has recovered more than $1 billion on their clients' behalf. One of Mr. Schochor's most prolific cases in his career revolved around the class action litigation against Johns Hopkins Hospital. Nikita Levy, MD, was an OBGYN with the hospital who had videotaped and photographed his patients and was ultimately found guilty of boundary violations. Mr. Schochor settled this case in principle for $190 million. It became the largest single perpetrator sexual abuse settlement in the United States history. According to Mr. Schochor, he sees his firm as being extremely dynamic and one that will continue to grow even further in the future. It will undertake cases that the founders deem meritorious and continue to level the playing field against powerful insurance companies and hospitals, and will aim to have great continued success for its clients. Outside of the courtroom, Mr. Schochor has maintained his status as a leader in his field, appearing as a guest expert on numerous radio and TV programs, an expert witness to state legislature, and a lecturer in law at Johns Hopkins Hospital, Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, and MedStar. A renowned figure in the legal field, Mr. Schochor's expertise over the course of 5 decades has not gone unnoticed. He has received numerous professional awards, including an Outstanding Liberal Arts Alumni Award from Pennsylvania State University, the Cornerstone Award from Smart CEO magazine, named as Trial Lawyer of the Year by Maryland Association for Justice, and named as Lawyer of the Year in Baltimore, Maryland. Additionally, Mr. Schochor has been listed among the best lawyers in America and Baltimore and Washington, D.C.'s best lawyers, the top 100 litigation lawyers in the state of Maryland by the American Society of Legal Advocates, and in the top 1% by the National Association of Distinguished Counsel. He was the recipient of the Maryland Association for Justice's Simon K. Walton Civil Justice Award, and his firm was even recognized with the coveted AV-Preeminent rating from Martindale-Hubbell. Enhancing his professional standing, Mr. Schochor is also a member of numerous associations and organizations, such as the Baltimore City Bar Association, American Association for Justice, American Judicature Society, American Board of Trial Advisors, Association of Trial Lawyers of America, Maryland Trial Lawyers Association, the Baltimore City Bar Association, and American Board of Trial Advocates. He has also been affiliated with the Melvin M. Belli Society and the Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity, among others. Mr. Schochor has also been involved in numerous civic activities, including the Rita Project, which is a nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting families that have lost a loved one to teenage suicide. As a member of the charitable board of the Life and Breath Foundation, Mr. Schochor participates in efforts to discover the cure for sarcoidosis, the most common fibrotic lung disease.